Let's talk about January 6th, Catherine. And you heard him reference there the pardons, some of the pardons that came from the outgoing president, but then hinting at the action he'll be taking later today. And you've learned more about what that action will actually be.
Yeah, David, and I should caution that, of course, this isn't final until Trump signs the paperwork. But we're learning from multiple sources that these pardons, that these January 6 defendants' pardons will be much more sweeping in nature than some of his allies even predicted. We're told that he will extend pardons to these January 6 defendants. But in addition to that, we're told that Trump plans to commute the sentences of those who are in prison now for those violent offenses on those police officers. Now, what does that mean? That means hundreds of individuals who are currently serving time for attacks on police officers, their sentences will be commuted. Now, he hasn't signed this yet. He is intending to, and that's what's anticipated. But the other thing worth noting here is this will extend, David, to two of those most high-profile defendants that we've talked a lot about in January 6th, the Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes, the Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. They're both serving 18 years and 22 years, respectively, for, of course, leading members of their respective groups in a seditious conspiracy to thwart the lawful transfer of power. Those two individuals we could see out of jail as soon as today. I'm told that Trump will also direct his attorney general to drop those pending cases. There are 300 cases where defendants have been charged but not found guilty or convicted or pled guilty in any way. Roughly 180 of those 300 pending charges, David, were charged with assaulting or impeding police. So essentially, this will affect every single one of the January 6 defendants. There are 1,600 of them, so they should be getting that news soon. Of course, I should caution, nothing is final until Trump signs the pardon paperwork, but he's expected to do that today.
Again, the significant caveat to the reporting that Catherine Faulders is bringing to us at this hour is that nothing is final until President Trump signs this later today. There's still time between now and then, and all of this appears to be fluid. But Catherine, all told, about how many defendants total are we talking about?
It would affect, essentially, David, every single one of them. There are 1,600. That's the total number of January 6 defendants who will be impacted in some way. The pardons that you will see, most likely, are for those who were non-violent. But the significant part of this is those commutations for those defendants who violently assaulted police officers. That means that their sentences are over. Essentially, they will have time served in jail today. Trump is expected to sign this today, and they will be out of prison. So that, of course, is the big news there, and much further than Trump's allies thought he would go. You remember Vice President J.D. Vance said today that there wouldn't be pardons, he didn't believe, for violent offenders. Of course, these aren't pardons, they're commutations, but it means that they will be out of jail, of course, if this reporting stands and Trump doesn't change his mind between now and the time that he signs this. So there's that element of it. And then, of course, all of the cases that are still pending in the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office just down the street, those won't exist anymore after today.
All right, Catherine Faulders, you'll stick with us, and as soon as you learn more about when he plans to sign this, when it becomes official, if it becomes official, and we'll bring you back on. In the meantime, I want to bring in our Chief Justice Correspondent, Pierre Thomas, because, Pierre, again, the caveat here is, you know, things can still change before he signs it, but Catherine, according to her reporting, believes that his actions this afternoon could affect just about everyone, if not everyone, who was charged in connection with January 6th. And of course, as you heard Catherine say, that involves the most serious of charges, those who even were involved in conflict with officers, attacking officers up on the Capitol, and those who might have helped orchestrate what the country and the world saw play out on January 6th, that this could be sweeping in nature and affect just about everyone here.
David, here's where it's fascinating. Of the 1,500 or so people charged in connection with January 6th, a stunning 608 were charged with assaulting and resisting police. It's going to be fascinating to see exactly who would be included, because there are videos of some of these people viciously assaulting law enforcement. And I'm wondering how that's going to factor into this down the stretch of this decision, David. And we've been in conversation today, checked in with Harry Dunn, for example, David, who was very pleased about what Biden did, but was also expressing some frustration that he even had to have a pardon, preemptive pardon by Biden, because he talked about how he was fighting for democracy, trying to protect the Capitol, and there he was having to get a pardon, David.